Welcome back to The Wolf and the Melody. My name's Tommy, and tonight we are continuing our journey with Eric with his latest cover of My Way by Frank Sinatra, and he put My Funeral Song. This is a classic song, iconic, and so I am excited to dive in and see what Eric does with it. I did see that some of you guys have suggested me to check this out, so I figure, it has been a minute since we've dove into his music, so we're doing it. I hope y'all are doing well. Thank you so much for stopping by, hanging out with me. If you're new to the channel, I don't really consider myself the typical reactor. This channel really is based on my own personal thirst and journey of music. And I figure, why not record it? And if people want to come along and hang out with me, I'd love the company. So I don't tell people to subscribe. I don't tell people to like the video. I just want to hang out. I want to talk about music. I want to talk about life. There are so many things going on outside of this video that I want this place to be a place of solace and peace and comfort so that we can just take a break. The world is insane right now, and we need each other more than ever. And we got so many voices and so many people telling us what to think, what to believe, what to do. And this is, I believe, where we need to trust our intuition more than ever. So take a minute from the chaos of the world and just sit with me. Let's go.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall.
That build up. Hold on, we're going back to it.
Shy away. Oh no, oh no, not me. I did it my way. Oh, what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he is not. Just say the things he truly feels, and not the ones so one kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my I did it my way.
Damn. It reminds me of that oh man, the name is elusive right now, but that movie where death comes to take the night, and the knight suggests they play a game of chess. That's immediately what I thought. But this really fooled me. You guys know how I am. I don't really cover a lot of people that do covers, but this one was subtle. I kind of drifted away for a little bit. I was in the music, but as the song was going, it's reflective, right? I wasn't so caught up on beautiful tone, beautiful voice, the simplicity of the piano. But it was sneaky because it was causing me to kind of reflect. So, I wasn't even really focused on the video as much. I was just listening to these words. And then when it came in to that part, it really reflected my own inner feelings of life, my rage and my passion, my journey. Like, what is a man? What has he got? I'm gonna I think there's a lot of things out there in the world, a lot of forces people can intentionally and unintentionally do that really tries to subdue the human. I think there are people that understand the power of what it is like for when a person is completely set free in their mind. They know who they are. And they are not tied to the standards of what society tells them to be. You hear all these talks of these billionaires and everything that, they know that if they can keep people in this mentality of just work, get up, go to work and die, because if we were to break free from that mentality and realize that we are, the masters of our ship, really able to be who we want to be, not determined by somebody else And so what's funny is as this song was going on, and I know this song, but just the way his emotional expression there was just so in my face. um it made me think about my walk in religion. To some people, religion serves them very well. And hey, my hat goes off to you. It did not serve me. And growing up, in a bit of a broken home, losing my dad, and basically from 14 years old to 18 raising myself, and then I left home when I was 18, 17, living on my own. And just you know trying to fend for myself and my battles with depression and self hate and trying to come up with the answers, and then on top of that trying to be somebody that is trying to follow this word, whatever the Bible says. It's like when people ask me why was I a Christian, it wasn't about the religion per se. But growing up, I was told that there was a God that loved me and that he cared about me. And then especially after my dad died, that he would be that dad I never had. And I bit into that. I bit into that really. I gave it my all. I was a missionary. I traveled around and preached the gospel, and I gave my all. So when people ask me why was I it wasn't because of a religious duty. My heart longed for the intimacy of being connected to something that loved me. I want to be. I wanted to be wanted. I wanted to be loved, and I didn't want to be alone. And I gave my all to it. And it was some of the most depressing and just empty years of my life. There's a point to this story and why it connects to this song. I'm just trying to be real with you all. I'm trying to open up and share a little bit of the story. But as it went on, the more hollow it became. And then I used to never question it. You don't question it, and if you have questions, you have faith. So there was this constant internal battle going on until eventually enough was enough. It was right around my divorce, when I was 35. And I just remember being like, I can't do this anymore. I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like me. I don't know me. I did the best I could while I was a Christian. I really worked on a lot of things. I worked on the depression and everything, but it really had nothing to do with God. And when I decided to walk away from it, I remember that night, and I remember just being like, enough, I can't do this. And I thought for sure I would be overwhelmed with this burden of guilt and shame. I thought for sure, oh God, if I walk away from this, I'm going to feel so guilty. And I didn't. When I said enough, I have to find myself. I have to find my path. Where does my heart want to lead me? Where does my soul, where does it want to go? I felt this sense of freedom that I haven't felt in over 30 years. I felt this burden fall off my shoulders. And I remember it was very clear. I think as men, we want purpose. We want to feel like we're adding something to life. It's hard for us to feel like we're just getting up and rotting. We need something. And I remember it just was clear to me that this life, that this journey is a singular journey. We are on this road, but yet, even though it's our own personal journey, it branches out like a tree into others' paths. And I realized that all I can do is try to become more and more aware, love who I am, love the man that I want to be, the man I envision myself to be, try and work on the hard things. And second, to try to surround myself with like-minded people, people that are growing, people that are kind and loving, and we can help each other. And then, I just want to make memories. No one knows what happens after this life. No one knows. So the way I see it is, take risk, step out of your comfort zone, trust yourself, and make as many memories as you can. And when those memories are linked to others, and that can be a thing that where you can look back, or they can look back and go, I remember that time. I remember that time, that moment. And because we all are going to fade, we're all going to die, and I'd rather die with a heart full of memories and moments that I shared with beautiful people. We can't do this alone. We need each other. I know I talked a lot. I just that's what this, after 35 years I felt like I found myself. And to think, what would it have been like if, what if the first 35 years of my life was not the way it was? But we can't go back. All I can do now is try to live in the best way I can. And so, yeah, this hit home, man. This was really powerful. It was powerful. I'm sorry for talking so much. Sorry for rambling. Um, but I just, that's another thing about this channel is we're not alone. We are a lot of us are locked in our head, locked in our soul. We're struggling. We feel like we can't get out. We feel like we can't change. We can't overcome. We have a vision of what we want to be or where we want to go, and it feels so fucking hard. And it's like we can't give up. We may not have all the answers. Our view might only be right in front of our face and we can't see the big picture, but we just got to keep walking and doing our best to step out of our comfort zone, and surrounding yourself with people. If you see someone that you feel like, man, I can learn something and maybe they can help, what do you got to lose? I tell people all the time, if they want to talk and they can message me, I will gladly share my story. I will gladly share what I have been through and what I have learned along the way, because I don't want people to be alone. I want people to find themselves and be the best versions of themselves, just like I'm trying. So, it's funny that a song would bring us together, but there's a bigger picture going on. And it's nice when we can enjoy life with people. Y'all, you're awesome. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, and appreciate you all so much. Thank you for your time. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let me share my thoughts. This has been kind of therapeutic in a way, I know you all aren't the ones fixing or healing, but there's something about sitting in the company of people. Just be honest. And it's okay if it's a little weird. It's okay if you open up and it doesn't make sense. The right people will understand. The right people have grace and they're not judgmental to you. You're loved. You are worthy of love. and you are deserving of happiness and joy. All right, I love your face. You know where to find me. Instagram. You can reach out there. I'm also on Facebook. Facebook's more of like my personal life. But, people can message, send me music, send me songs. Tell me how your life is. We'll be back with another one.